the show where John Romano, Lee Priest, and I vent our frustrations with the world. It's just Lee and I here today, and Lee, I believe it's what, like 5 in the morning over there?
Yeah, a little bit after 5. Yes.
You're an early riser. I like it. Now, today's topic is a good one because it's basically, I'm a little pissed off, and I gotta just say, first of all, I want to start by saying that I really like Ian Valliere. I don't love him. Sorry. I like Ian Valliere a lot. He's a pro from Canada. I just interviewed him. He'll be stepping on the Olympia stage for the first time this year. And someone else put up a picture of a comparison of him and Dorian Yates in a side, I guess, standing relaxed position. And they said, and a lot of people were like, saying, this is bullshit. And I guess Ian got pissed off and he went on there and he said, look, I'm not beating, I don't know if I'm saying I'm going to beat Dorian, but I think I have him beaten in a lot of these poses, and you can't really compare the guys today to the guys from, the 90s. We're much better nowadays. So, and I'm not trying to put Ian down because it's not about Ian. It's about guys, though, that Lee judge themselves according to pictures they see from prior, years or prior decades even. I mean, does it just irk you a little bit? It irks me a little bit when people compare themselves to like pictures. I know guys that show me pictures from the NPC Nationals and they've been training for a year and they're like, I could beat that guy. I'm like, you don't have any freaking clue what you're looking at, because when you get up there on that stage next to that person, you will cry like a little girl.
Yeah, I think they need to drug test Ian, and not for steroids. I think for hallucinogenics. I've never heard of the guy, so no, that's not saying it's bad or anything. But the only guy I know from Canada is fucking Dudley Do-Right. So fucking Ian. But yeah, like you said, in a picture, everyone looks great. Standing by yourself, you look great. You can have I stood beside Dorian on the 97 Olympia stage, his last Olympian. There's a lot of photos of people like Lee. You've got Dorian in these poses just because of some of the angles and shit. So, it doesn't mean shit. I could be standing a foot closer to the camera than Dorian, and people are like, oh, Lee, you got him there. How did he win? And you get 5th place, 6th place. So, these people get delusional. And like you said, anyone in a photograph by themselves looks fantastic. We see it all the time leading up to the contest. You're thinking, this guy looks fantastic. He looks massive. It's like Rami. Look at Rami. Guy's massive, but you get him beside someone with a good symmetry and super dry, he doesn't look as impressive. So, you sitting there by yourself, Dave, you look great, but if I stood beside you, you look like shit. And that's saying something, because I look like shit. So if I can make you look like shit, that shows how shit you are.
I've been known to be a piece of shit now and then. Now and again. Seriously. We see it all the time. Guys, after shows, they get the pictures, they put them up on their Instagram. They're like, look, I should have beat this guy. Well, you know what? Guess what? That's not how it looked in person. You can beat it with the best of the best up there on that stage. You know that being there on that stage in person next to someone is a way, way different contest than what you judge.
The thing is, too, he's like calling out Dorian, like, one of the top Mr. Olympias ever. He's comparing himself to fucking Dorian. Yeah. It's be like me just going for a little run down the backyard and putting up a video saying, I think I got Usain Bolt, just because I do a little fucking 2-second dash. Yeah, I think I got Usain, but if he was beside me, he'd probably fucking fly right by me. But, the people always do that. It's like they have these photographs and they go, I think I got him. And sometimes someone like that guy too, when after a contest they say, I should have beat him, look at this, it's like, yeah, the guy won, you might have got 5th place and you're saying you should have beat him. There's 3 other guys in between you and him you should have fucking worried about as well. They always compare himself to the winner. It's like, I remember a couple of shows I did where I might have got 3rd and people are like, oh, I should have beat Lee, look at me. It's like, okay, I got 3rd, you got 8th. What about all the other people between 7th and 4th, before you get to me, you got to beat those guys as well. So, but they single people out, and like you said, they put up the comparisons, and then their little mates come on or their family comes on.
I got a great story about Kevin Levrone. I saw Kevin Levrone. I saw him in magazines, obviously. I saw him, winning Olympias. I didn't see him in person at that point. And then I had seen him backstage at a show. And he took his stuff off. He was guest posing. He wasn't even competing. And when he took his clothes off, and I've told the story before, I felt so inadequate. Even at whatever I was, 260 pounds, I was competing at the show. I felt like the biggest loser in the world. I felt like I might as well just quit bodybuilding and never do it again. And that was in Kevin's off season, okay? You know, it was just big and full. Another time, I think we got Lee back. I think we lost Lee.
Yeah.
Lee, I was telling a story. I was telling a story about Kevin Levrone. I saw him, you know, backstage at a show guest posing once, and I wanted to quit bodybuilding because I felt so inadequate to him. And then when I actually helped him for the '96 Arnold Classic, he hadn't trained for like 6 months, and he sent me pictures at 12 weeks or 16 weeks out. He looked like he couldn't win the Mr. Long Island. 6 weeks later or 8 weeks later, he said, "Come down." I drove down to Maryland, and I hadn't seen him because remember there was no internet. You couldn't send digital pictures through your phone or anything like that back in the '90s. I said, "Let me see what you look like." He took his shirt off. I was 315 pounds at the time. I wanted to just leave his house as quickly as possible because I said to myself, I can never beat this guy. And you can never in a million years capture that in a photo, but when you saw this guy in person, it was like mind-blowing. I mean, even you didn't look anything like you looked in person like you did in photos. You were 3D. You were like a cartoon character.
Contest time, that was my
Do
plan.
we have a show? Do we have a show?
Hey, John.
Who's that?
John's on.
How come no one tells me?
How did you even get on the show? How did you even get in here?
How'd John get on?
What?
That's great. How come I can't see John's head though?
You need to turn on his camera.
Turn your camera on, John. John found us.
You do get a mention at the beginning of the
John
show.
tracked us down like a girl tracking down her boyfriend at a club or something like that.
It's like a
Can
sniper.
you see me?
We were cheating on him, Lee.
I can see JR, but I can see a round circle that says JR.
His name is
Yeah, I can't. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think that John's calling from heaven. You sure John's still alive? Did he die and
That's
he's
the
talking to us
spirit.
from
That's the
heaven?
spirit of John. That's John
I think
comparing
he's talking to
himself
us from
Ian.
the other side.
John's come on to compare
I've
himself
never had
to
this
Ian.
happen to me in the history of recording TV programs.
What happened?
How did you find us?
You called me.
Yeah, I tried to add him.
Oh, Tyler called you when Lee hung up, when Lee's line got disconnected. That's funny.
Tyler, the creator, called me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, put your camera on so we can see you.
What are we doing? I can't find out how to do it.
Wow. Well, we were
That's the one
talking
that has the
about,
little
John,
camera.
we're talking about guys that judge themselves against the best bodybuilders in the world based on pictures.
Wait, hang on a second.
It's just like a voice coming in.
I still don't believe that he's really alive. I have to verify that he's not dead or
but he
anything
ain't-
like that.
Well,
To see.
you said he's calling from heaven. He ain't calling from heaven, mate. He's calling from downstairs.
You're right. He's probably calling from hell. You're right. I don't think heaven has a line to RxMuscle. Hell probably does. There he is.
Here I am.
So, John, what do you
Wait,
think
let-
about guys that judge themselves against like former Olympia champs like Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman and Dexter based on pictures, that they have of themselves, and they put them in comparison shots, like they're not even in the show with the person, but they're showing it from 20 years ago versus now, type of thing.
So you mean like Arnold 20 years ago and them today?
Right.
Leave my earpiece here.
Oh, all right.
I gotta be like Lee.
I thought you were just stalling to come up with a good answer.
You can't see mine. Look, mine's here. Look, mine's like
Oh, you got the call. You got the Lou Ferrigno model. That looks like a disease.
Mine's like a.
It does. It looks
one
like a
of those
hearing
fucking-
aid, Lee.
Mine's
That
like
is
one of those.
cool, Lee.
Mine's like one of those things that stops women getting pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like an IUD. It does.
Yeah.
Can you imagine John in like 20 years?
That's a roadside bomb, isn't it? What the fuck? I got a roadside bomb in my ear.
In 20 years, we'll all have hearing aids. We'll be having to turn our hearing aids up, to hear each other.
Oh god.
We'll be like, what?
Ah,
So,
Steve.
could you imagine being a fly on the wall in the Situation Room in Bleckman's office now with Pecker granted immunity?
I was just going to say
knows
that.
something. He knows something. I knew it. He was crooked.
The funny thing is that he probably doesn't know
John-
anything. That's the funny thing.
Is John
It's
going?
stupid.
Is John going to Olympia too?
No. Dave
Why not,
won't
Phil?
take me.
I'm going. Dave's going. We could meet up with Steve.
Wouldn't that be great?
I
Look at
bet
that
he doesn't
steak.
even go. I bet he doesn't go.
We could have his best steak.
And
No,
get
but
a
getting
shoulder
back to
rub.
the question, Lee. Getting back to the question, John. It just irks me sometimes, and I used Ian Valier, but I'm not putting him down because I had Ian on the show, and he just dismissed it. He said, "Look, I was just kidding around," but just in general, and not Ian. I'm talking about there are people out there on the internet I see on Instagram where people put up comparison shots of themselves versus Arnold, themselves versus Haney, themselves versus Dorian, and say, "Look, I got him beat." You know. I mean, isn't that kind of disrespectful to the champions that we've had from the past?
Well, I mean, self-aggrandized people are in no short supply in our industry. So I don't see how
Imagine, John, you have good calves, right? Imagine you put up a calf shot of you versus Lee Haney, because Lee Haney didn't have the greatest calves, and you said, "I'm blowing Lee Haney away." Isn't that kind of disrespectful to Lee Haney, you know?
Well, like I said it before. Dave was looking good sitting there, but now John's right beside you on my screen. You look like fucking crap. Dave, you look like shit. I can see John and you, and for a second, Dave wasn't looking too bad, but John, you've just blown Dave away here on the screen.
John's vibrant. He's out working. I got kids. I don't
wrong?
sleep with him.
What's wrong with you, Dave? You've been sick. You've got a couple of weeks to get ready.
It's called
You're living-
children. It's young children, Lee. They
The
suck the
Olympic
life out
Expo's
of
in
you.
2.5 weeks, mate. You better get in shape. Get on the juice or something. 2.5 weeks for the Expo. Get in shape, mate. Come on.
I'm going to start my Rocky routine.
I'll be 58 at the Olympia.
Wow. I'm going to have Boston White inject tremble onto my eyeballs.
You look like 68 in the shade.
That's right.
I can't believe you're almost 60 years old, John.
Almost, man. I might make it.
Masters Nationals, over 60.
Yeah.
Come back.
If I had a left side of my body, I might do that.
Start putting pictures up. Start putting pictures up of you and Ruley side by side.
Yeah, me and Ruley.
Lee, compare. Lee's got a left side, John, but no right side. So maybe you guys can combine it 1 to 1.
We can do the couples.
Yeah, we could. I'll pose the left, right side. You the left.
Oh,
I'm good.
don't tell Steve that. He'll want to boil us up, both of us. Oh my God, my two favorite people are doing the couples together. Double the glutes, Lee. Double penetration, John and Lee. Oh my God.
I was going to make mention of the fact that if all Lee Priest fans know that he competed once in couples with his mom. But
That's
now
right.
after that comment, I don't think they belong in the same paragraph.
Hey, we were close.
Who was the best couples, man and woman team when they used to do it back in the day? I know Tony Pearson was really good. What was the best couples pair, you think?
That was Carla Dunlap, wasn't it, and Tony Pearson?
Yeah.
Yep,
they were great.
Carla Dunlap and Tony. I never gave it much credence. I thought it was kind of stupid, and probably because I saw Dan Duchesne do it with some Mexican chick.
For the donkey.
I was going to say that wasn't a posing routine. That was something in Mexico that we can't talk about.
There was a tad too much theater in it for me. So
too many ping pong balls.
Yeah, too many. Or the ones that are connected together with a little chain. Yeah, those. Don't pull too hard. Yeah. Okay, good. And so it gets them around the block faster too, you know.
You remember every year at the NPC Nationals they had couples, the couples too. They
it was the weirdest fucking. I mean, Lee, no offense, but it was the weirdest thing. I mean, I don't know. I think if you're gonna do it, son and daughter, mother and son couple, that was kind of cool. I mean, no one ever did that before.
Made the judges cry.
It was pretty cool. So in that regard, there was definitely a worthwhile thing to watch. But in general, couples bodybuilding posing was, if it was any good, it was going to be one card key away from a hotel room. So I didn't, you don't want to see that, or they weren't accepting of that, But
My mum and I ain't from the south down there where some of you people grow in the
I
Appalachians.
said with the exception.
I'm not from Tasmania.
John, how about this? We got to get like one of my caricature drawers to draw Blackman hitting a Rully Winkler pose, you know, with that face, you know? And we got to put a comparison side by side, and we'll
I've seen that face on Steve when you're going in dry. That's the same face he makes.
No, I want to see that face on Steve, and then it would look like he's bent over, and then like behind him, you have this huge, bodybuilder dude.
Oh, fuck. He'd be fucking smiling. He wouldn't be grimacing. He'd be smiling like the fucking.
Oh, the first pass is always going to be a little. bit
once the tip goes in, he'd be like.
Yeah. Right. So it's that face before then. It's that immediate,
It's like when you go to the doctors and you hear that snap of the glove go on and you bend over.
Or like at a concert, when the conductor taps the music stand and holds his baton poised. Yes, that's
where Steve goes. Oh, goody! Here it comes! Be like a fucking Ethiopian at a buffet. Oh, here it comes.
John, we were doing such a great show until you came on, and then it completely disintegrated into the gutter.
It's John's fault. It's not mine. I keep this show on the straight and narrow. It's like, shit, you two come on and just ruin it.
Final word on this. I'm going to go to Lee Priest first. Is it appropriate for people to be comparing themselves to former Mr. Olympians? I mean, you competed against these guys at your best. They beat you, and now you got guys that are, just off the street, putting up comparison shots. Hey, I got better arms than Dorian Yates.
It's like when I was coming up, we had the magazines. We didn't have the internet. Back in my day, when we had the stone tablets with people chiseled out on the cave wall, we used to just look at them and think, he's got good arms. I look at Eddie Robinson and go, he's got great arms. Tom Placer, great legs. But never once would you fucking compare yourself and say, wow, look at my leg. Look at my leg beside Platts. Or, plus back then, by the time I took the photo and waited 2 days to go pick it up to get it developed, I'd lost interest in how the body part looked. So, this day and age with the cameras, do it straight away. But no, you can't compare yourself. It's good to look at someone, have a photo and go, wow, that's what I inspired to. I'm going to train hard and try and get arms like that or a back like that. That might inspire you to train hard to look like a freak. But for this Ian guy to put up a picture of himself beside Dorian saying that I think I've got him in a few of these shots and stuff, well, it's like I said, they must have fucking legalized a few new drugs up there in Canada because that guy's fucking smoking them.
John, final word.
Yes. Look, like I said before, self-aggrandized personalities are no short supply in our industry. But at the same time, though, this is an endeavor that requires a tremendous amount of motivation. So if you're going to be good at being a bodybuilder, you got to be really motivated. And I think the door is open as far as what motivates you. If you want to put up, pictures of squirrels masturbating in your gym, and that's going to motivate you to, lift another 5 pounds, then that's what it takes. If you got to compare yourself to Dorian Yates or Mike Mentzer or Lee Priest or whoever to motivate you to get in the gym and, go bang it out and, do it better than you did yesterday, then by all means do it. But the internet is the problem. It's no longer on the gym wall in your basement or in your bedroom. It's out there on your page where everybody's looking at it. And then you open yourself up to, a whirlwind of criticism when all you're really doing is trying to motivate yourself. I don't think anybody in their right mind, and mind you, I said in their right mind, would actually really seriously compare themselves body part for a reigning Mr. Olympia. That's just insanity. But if you're doing it to say, oh, wow, I like the shape of his calves. This is what my calves look like. If I got to put, 4 inches over here and then add another 3 inches on this side, I might have a slightly, close, reasonable facsimile to Mr. Olympia. But
to get you soon? No fucking way, dude. Come on, man.
Wait till I put up my photos later today of me and John Holmes.
There you go.
I'll get the angle right. Real close to the
Just
camera.
make sure you
Real
don't
close to
put
the
up the
camera.
ones that were you and Robert Mapplethorpe.
What about? It's almost like when we got the bodybuilders going to compare muscle parts, but for years and years, how long did fucking Blackman compare himself to Joe Weider?
They even had the mustache the same, right? For a while.
I think Steve's going to turn up at the Olympia with grey hair and the mustache. You know.
Didn't John didn't
should.
Blackman have him beat with the mustache?
What's that?
Did Blackman have him beat with the mustache?
Now, Blackman had a very good 80s porn star mustache when I first met him. Unfortunately, though, he used to have it, what do you call it, frosted, bleached?
Yeah.
You know, he had it
Hey, mate,
have his
that
hair
wasn't
frosted,
that wasn't frosting on it. That was me left over. I just left the office. He was just saving that to eat later. Yeah. It's like frosting from a donut.
The bottom
thought
line,
you had
guys, is that, it's great to compare yourselves to the top champions, but you know what? Sometimes you got to remember, don't be delusional. Until you get up on stage with these guys and you see them in person, you don't know what you're talking about. And I love everyone out there. I love you, Ian. This wasn't meant to put you down. I consider you a friend. We're just breaking balls. But at the end of the day, seriously, I see a lot of guys compare themselves to former competitors. The guys are winning national titles. And you know what? You're really putting those guys down by saying that you could beat these guys. Get up on this stage and prove it. And then guess what? We will bow down to you and say you were right.
You're
now, though, I'm
like
Dave Palumbo with John Romano and Lee Priest for another edition of Iron Rage. Take care, guys.
So look, even John joined us today. Look at that.
Yeah, how about that?